So the first topic here is the server-side rendering. It's going to be part of V2.
Yep. It is.
Yeah.
There will still be some like, at least in the beta, we won't have a good interface for all the hydration and dehydration and stuff, but at least we have the endpoints, and it will be possible for people to experiment with it and to get things to work. But definitely, like, actually rendering stuff on the server will definitely be part of V2. It's Yeah,
I see. It's probably better to try to come up with a really good approach. Even like just a short example, like looking at how they're doing it in Vue, it's like you have to learn so much stuff just to, for example, if you look at Nuxt, I really like the simple approach, but even the simple approach is going to require you to learn about hydration and a lot of other stuff that's not directly related to your application.
Yeah.
It would be cool to solve that in a really elegant way.
Definitely.
And the next topic is static site generation.
So I guess there's currently no plan for that. So I don't think that will be part of any official Imba release, like for 2.0, but I'm sure someone could experiment with it and create that on the side. I think with the new bundling stuff, there will be a lot of flexibility, and it will allow people to create their own, essentially create something like Nuxt on top of Imba, I think. But it will definitely not be part of it's not part of the main roadmap for getting to V2.
Yeah, but what I don't get is, like, I don't see what the difference is. Like, wouldn't you achieve, like, if you're going to build a site with Imba now, so I'm just trying to understand what they mean with static site generation. So it's basically like rendering all of the pages.
Yeah, it's
persisting them. Okay, I see.
Yeah, I think it's rendering all of the pages and actually building them out to static HTML, static structure that you could essentially serve from any static web server.
So is this something that could be done together with the server-side rendering, part of V2?
Yeah, but I guess so. If you accept an static site, a generated site that requires client-side JavaScript, then you could theoretically, as long as the static host you serve it on has like a wildcard fallback, then you wouldn't need anything else than we have now. Like, then you could actually create like just a plain indexed HTML and a client that uses Imba router, etc., to act like a statically generated site. But it wouldn't work with indexing and all the things that people usually think about when they talk about statically generated sites. So
yeah, I see. Cool. So the next topic is thoughts on React Server components.
I have no idea about that.
Who wrote that down? Could the person who wrote it down? Okay, it's from the chat again.
Okay.
So can you expand on what you were thinking? I can read up your messages from chat. I think I've read this, like just the words React Server components briefly, but I didn't click on the link I saw. So I don't really know.
We should, Alexandre could just write something in the chat and we can get back to that point later.
Yeah.
So we could go on to the router now. I haven't. Yeah. So one of the things that has actually delayed the next release now is that I've needed to make the router work again, essentially, after yet again refactoring stuff. I think the router is still like, we should probably include it as an official router, but it is kind of hacky and it isn't really well specified. Like the features of it are kind of random and not documented. So it works for most of my use cases, but I'm sure that for a broader release, then people will actually want quite a few features that it doesn't currently have. And I'm not sure we should start like including that broader, really full featured router as part of the initial V2 release, because that could delay things even more. But at the same time, like I'm interested in hearing about, other than bugs and things like that, are people experiencing tons of missing features in the router, or is it working for most use cases?
I haven't used the router, so or at least what's new in Imba 2. I'm just using some client-side stuff, and that's how I decide on what's being rendered. And I also have some endpoints, like I'm using Express.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Let's see.
I couldn't get to I don't know what you call those routes, like dynamic routes. So like if I have a nested component inside another route, I know in the router in V1, it would generate nested routes in a smart way, and I couldn't get that to work in V2. So I'm just stuck with using just direct routes for components.
Yeah, that's a bug that will be solved. Hopefully in the next release. I stumbled upon it myself now, that while refactoring things.
Yeah.
But we should probably get back to the router later as well. I think we can go through this is going to be a short meeting and not that eventful, because I'm sadly still not ready to demo or release the the new build process. It's been through several major iterations. I think the current iteration is the last one. I think it's going to be extremely sweet, and it utilizes a lot of the things that we get from ES Build. So it kind of, the current iteration looks very much like an insanely fast parcel, if anyone here has used parcel. Like it's essentially zero configuration, and it allows you to serve up either a client side entry point or a server entry. And if you serve up a server script, then it will automatically extract the client's entry points that you use in the server, and also do hot module reloading and restart the server gracefully and stuff. So it's not that easy to explain now, but again, I won't promise anything.
Can't demo a little bit?
No, that's the problem. It's actually, so I broke. I've had, like, over the last 2-3 weeks, I think I've had a demoable state of the project for each iteration, but right now it's not demoable.
No
but I hope it will be
demoable
tomorrow. So at least if we plan a meeting right after New Year's, I'm pretty sure it will be ready, at least ready enough for people to see and experiment with.
Cool.
But it has been a long journey, and I've stumbled upon so many challenging things, both like how do you do configuration that is not too cryptic, and how do we get it to work on everything from the simple projects to more complex projects like Scrimba, where we actually have a ton of different client-side entry points, and we need to bundle those and bundle the server, and crazy stuff. But it is getting there.
Cool.
I'm really I really want to do it right. Like, it's the worst thing I can imagine is that if we release a build process that is just riddled with bad architectural choices that we need to live with for a long time. So it is worth the the hassle to actually iterate a few times and come up with something that feels nice.
Yeah.
But yeah, so everything else is kind of stalled, both because of all the COVID stuff, but also because of this iteration on the build, Imba build stuff.
But is
So
it
again,
still similar to what you showed us last time, where there's going to be a build command, there's going to be a serve command that's
yeah,
from Imba?
yeah, essentially, but it has, yeah, kind of like that.
Cool. So do you think, like, is this something that's actually, can we start using this, or is this still something that's locally on your computer?
It's the last iteration is still local. I'm probably going to push parts of it today, at least tomorrow, but it will probably be hard to get it running for anything for yourself for a couple of days. The goal is to first push it, then merge the branch into master, and then update Imba.io to use this new build stuff. And then you will at least have a good example of how it's how you can use it. But it will essentially, like, it should, when it's actually out, it should immediately remove all need for webpack and parcel and rollup, etc. And it will be much faster. So I am confident that it is worth the time doing this, even if it's taking longer than expected. Yeah.
Cool. Look forward to using it.
Yeah.
Let's see. I'm just checking the chat. Yeah, we should continue. Yeah, Eric, you had something on the real world Imba too.
Yeah, so I pretty much did the whole front end for it, just with using Imba styles. So I didn't even import their bootstrap, whatever they had. If anybody wants to do the back end for it, Alexander, if you want to do one of your YouTube streams on, doing the back end of real world, connecting it to the API, that'd be fun for me to watch. But that's not my forte, so I'm just letting someone else do it.
It sounds fun. Like, it definitely sounds fun. But I'm seeing Bohuslav just joined now. Hopefully his mic is going to work. Yeah, there is a repo. If you click this link, let me drop the link in the chat. But maybe Bohuslav is also interested in that.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I'd love to watch the back end part being done, because I need to learn a lot about that stuff.
Yeah, Sindre is very busy, but maybe we could convince him to join something like that, and then we could do pair programming.
I think probably the best plan is to have Frode at Scrimba do it, possibly, and then have him like talk to me along the way to make sure it follows some decent principles at least.
Cool.
But that will definitely like be after New Year's sometime. But yeah,
sweet.
Bohuslav is trying to join so many times. I don't know what's going on. Yeah, I'll ask him on the Discord. But the section on notable changes are, I think that's something you, Loris. These are topics you mentioned.
Yeah, I think it was from the last meeting that we just bumped to this meeting. But I think we should again just delay those to the next meeting, because it's the test suite is in flux again with the ES build changes, and it makes more sense for me to go through the class fields when this ES build chaos has dwindled down.
Cool. So then it's Nathan's design.
Yeah, I think since we had the meeting at this time of day, then that's the middle of the night for him in SF.
Yeah.
So again, we should do that later. I know he's also spent time with his family this Christmas, I haven't talked that much with him due to my isolation and stuff on my part. So I think we should delay that point as well to the next week.
You guys can do most meetings at a time where Nathan and Ulores can join in. And then every once in a while, if you guys do it at 2:00, I'll join in.
Yeah.
But I always try to watch them after the fact.
I think we could also have, Alexander, how difficult is it for me or someone else to also be able to host meetings this way and do the recording and stuff?
I think that should
The
be
same.
straightforward. It's just I don't know how to add you guys in the Zoom account, but I know Per has another Zoom account. So maybe I could look into how I could add you as a host. And then
Yeah.
you don't need to do anything other than just start the meeting. The cloud recording will essentially kick it off automatically. So that's my favorite feature with the Zoom, because I don't need to have any files, and it will just send you an email after the files are ready. So I could even give you the password to this account, and then you could use it if I can't figure out the host stuff. So it should be straightforward to just log in, and then yeah, but they might have some license issues if you add a new host. I think that's what happened last time when I was trying to add you to the account.
Okay. Because I think it might make sense to try to have a few more meetings in the future, not necessarily official community meetings like this, but if I want to go over the configuration for the bundling and the Imba build commands, etc., with you, Loris, and a couple of other people, then it's perfect to actually do it through this Zoom account and record the meeting as well.
Yeah, I think that's a great idea.
I don't need to be a part of that meeting because I have it's over my head.
So, yeah, exactly. So being able to have these technical meetings that are not that interesting to everyone, but that will still be very valuable to document and archive. So we should talk about that on the side, Alexander, like figure out how we can do that.
Yeah,
because
absolutely.
Right now you need to, how much do you need to actually do with the meeting recording before pushing it to YouTube?
So what I do right now is I just trim the start and the end.
Yeah.
So if we talk in the beginning, I'll just remove that. So the topics start. So it's like, I don't know, like I would guess it's like 20 minutes to 40 minutes, because you have to export the file. You have to wait till the file is exported, and then you have to upload it to YouTube. And YouTube has this processing stuff it does. And then you have to add the title, the description, and then the tags stuff, and then post the link. So it's like 20 to 40 minutes.
Do you know if there's any way to automate that since the recording is already cloud-based?
I don't know. I haven't looked into that. So that's something I could look into. Let's see. I'm just trying to remember.
And also, have any of you actually had any group video calls on Discord?
Yeah, I've done a lot of calls on Discord. It's actually really nice. You can even share your screen from, like, let's say an iPad or an iPhone, and then just share another app you're using. And you can also share your screen on desktop. It's very, very easy.
Could it make sense to, at some point, actually use Discord for the meetings, or?
Yeah, we can use Discord, and it's actually easier.
Please, no Discord. They won't let me on because I have a landline. It's so frustrating.
We need to get you an account then.
It's just not doable. I've been hammering back and forth to their tech support. I finally gave up. That they're the most infuriating people to deal with.
But isn't it doable with, like, I have no idea how, I didn't think I even needed a phone or anything when I signed up. But if you really need that, couldn't I start, like, add another account in my wife's name or something, and then just let you use that?
Well, I'm an attorney in real life. It wouldn't be legal under their terms. I couldn't do it. I could get disbarred, so I'm really trapped.
That's so weird.
Hey, on the Zoom video, if you can get it to upload to YouTube directly from Zoom somehow,
that might be possible.
You can trim the end and the beginning on the YouTube platform itself, so you don't have to export it and then upload it. That might save time.
Yeah, let's do that. If Zoom has, that's a great idea, Eric. I know about the editor. I've used it several times. It's very nice.
Okay. Yeah.
So
It looks like Zoom has at the marketplace. There's an app called YouTube for Zoom that automatically uploads recordings to YouTube, to your channel, YouTube channel.
yeah, I can try that and then just wire up everything.
Yeah.
And then that would save a few minutes with uploading and downloading stuff. Cool.
Yeah.
And yeah, so the Discord, but isn't that something you could use for these meetings? Like everyone is already on Discord. Couldn't we you could just create even a room for this, I think, Sindre.
Yeah, I was just wondering, like,
And then just, sorry.
Yeah. Another question is, how do you actually record the Discord calls
Exactly,
in
I see.
in a nice manner?
That I have never recorded straight from Discord. I don't even know if you can do that.
Yeah.
But that's something to look into because then you could do those from Discord, right? And those meetings are not, from what I understood, it's like a small group of people. It's not like you don't need to have a public link.
Yeah.
Oh, so if you look in the chat, I pasted a very small snippet of sample code using the API for the generic function facility that I'm building. So you can have a look there. It just operates as ordinary functions working with a class. If I could share my screen, I can show you the actual implementation code very briefly.
Yeah, very briefly. So I'll stop sharing the screen. There. Oh, Zoom looks different now.
Okay, can you see it now?
Yep.
Yeah. Great.
Okay, so I'm using a couple utility functions from Ramda. And basically, we have an internal dispatch table that's stored inside the generic function class. The main external interface consists of two functions, way down here, define generic function and define method. So define generic function will just simply take the name of our main generic function. Now we're borrowing this from the semantics of the Dylan programming language in the Lisp world. So once you define the generic function, all that you have is basically a little stub in the dispatch table. Then all the meat gets added with define method, which can take completely different argument signatures. So you can have different arrays and it will dispatch on the most specific. Going back up here, the dispatch code will first identify all of the candidate methods, which are methods in that generic function in the dispatch table. Then it will filter out all the ones with incompatible arguments. Then it will sort them by specificity so that if you specialize a function on a subclass, that will take priority over a specialization just on a more generic class. We can deal with variable numbers of arguments and optional option objects tacked on at the very end. Coming back up here to the support, the code to analyze the type signatures of the inputs uses some utility code to type things. If it's a function, and we'll be able to just simply check that it's a function. We treat an option call a little bit differently. And let's see, and symbols. We're going to be using the symbol key 4 with ordinary ES6 symbols for these. And we compare our signatures, we analyze signatures in the arguments, see if the methods are congruent with one another, dispatch on the most specific. So actually calling the code is very clean because now we can define with the same function name different function signature templates. And this is really helping me in the code for implementing the peg parsing, because instead of having a nightmare of dispatch code embedded in the semantic actions for every rule, we can just define things cleanly and separately. This code is pretty good, but I'm sure there's still some bugs in it. Once I have it nailed down a little bit more, I'll send you the file and you can try it out yourselves.
Cool.
Okay,
It's
and I'll
nice.
just stop the share now.
Thanks for the
Yeah.
demo.
Looking
And then
forward.
you can see in the actual chat transcript how we do it. So we
Yeah.
could have define generic function add, then we could define a method on add taking 2 numbers and dispatching that off to an existing add function. Or if handing 2 strings to add, we could concatenate the 2 strings. We can have a new class,
Yeah.
the subclass, and it'll find the most specific.
It's cool.
So it's a real nice feature. It might even be something that we might want to build into the language proper, but it can be done with just ordinary functions at runtime.
Yeah, I guess.
Which is good enough for now.
But if you want, it's good enough for a proof of concept. But if you want it to be really fast, I guess you will need some.
Yeah, you'd probably want to do it as a macro instead of doing it
Yeah.
at runtime.
Yeah, but that's cool. Very cool.
Okay, glad you liked it.
Yeah.
Yeah, thanks for showing it, Peter. So the last topic is the promo video. Eric, could you elaborate?
That'd probably be a better conversation for later. Just if we want to promote Imba, we could have a video that shows different features of the language. And in a cool way, in a minute or two. And we could post them to different places. Dev2, we could put them on Product Hunt and make a nice little article to promote the language. I think that'd be cool. A way to onboard people into the language.
Nice. Sounds good. So you also have access to the YouTube account by now, don't you? I think I gave you access.
I might. I haven't checked.
Yeah, please do check, because then we could use the Imba channel for that. And maybe we could also even look into if Frode is going to do the real world Imba 2 thing, maybe it could be streamed there on the
the channel is called Imba.
Yeah, just search for Imba channel, you're going to find it. Or there's a link here, I think. Let's see. There's supposed to be a link here. I'll make sure. Yeah, here. This is the link. I'll add it in the chat.
Nice.
Great. So, oh, that was weird. It only took the text. So, Sindre, when is a good time for the next date?
I guess 1 or 2 weeks from now.
Do you know? I'll message you about the account access, Alex. Sorry to interrupt.
Yeah, do that.
So the 11th January then. Should we try? Cool. Then I'll just create a new meeting note and add these deferred topics there.
So just quickly on the last point that someone added now. One of the cool things with the new ES Build bundler is that it does support essentially the same things that you get with Babel. Like it rewrites and adds support for older browsers if you specify it. So it's even though obviously like if you don't support web components, a lot of things won't work, etc. But we will more easily be able to support more of the older browsers now with the new bundler.
Okay, but I think it will be very good to add some table to the documentation where you will say what browsers are supported.
Yeah.
Because every developer is interested in how many users he can reach building apps with Imba, and it's interesting topic.
Yeah. It might also be worth looking into. Like there are some polyfills for web components by Google, I think. I think they are extremely large and probably quite slow, but if they actually work as decent polyfills, then I think we should be able to support all older browsers. But again, there are like JavaScript, CSS variables. There are many things that I think it will be difficult to support all the fancy stuff on Internet Explorer 11, etc. That probably won't be doable. But most other browser targets should be achievable.
Cool. So I wrote some questions on Twitter just as a joke, but if we look at next year, do you think 2021 is going to be the year of Imba?
Yes, I do.
Nice.
Unless the whole launch gets delayed to 2022, I genuinely think it's going to be the year of Imba.
Yes. So you heard it first here.
Yes.
So maybe we should then talk about the release date and all of that other stuff in 2 weeks, because it seems like nothing has really changed that much significantly. So there's no point.
2 weeks is good.
Great. I'm looking forward to playing around more with Alpha version 100. It's a really big number. Cool. So is there anything else, or should we wrap up?
I think we can wrap up, and then I'll try it as soon as possible to push out 101.
Nice.
Yeah.
Great. Thanks for taking the time, and have a happy new year, and see you next year. Bye.
You too.
Stay safe. Happy New Year.
Bye.
Bye, folks.